I think you should fight you in the game.
Yes!
That would be great.
I get a shotgun.
No, he can
Rufus.
for you. You can summon Shinra.
Yes, I will summon all of these.
Get back on track.
Yeah, and then we can battle Axel.
Yeah.
Get back on track. Get to the next
That would
question.
be a battle. That would be fan service.
This is all good, but we got to move on a little bit, you know. What I feel basically about the storyline itself is I wasn't skeptical at all about it, mostly due to my earlier example of Mario RPG. Now I know you would say those are two different video game companies, and this was totally different, but again, as my joke earlier, because Square was the one in charge of it, I had faith. It didn't faith. If Disney was the one who made the game, I would have gone, ugh, you know, then it would have been a questionable product, and you almost would have been amazed that it was good. And I think the thing that affected the story the most was how things developed between the numbered games during the between period, if you will. Chain of Memories came out, and you go like, okay, this is a little Game Boy game, you know, like maybe it's a side story or something like that, and you think, it's not going to really tell much, you know, it's like just holding us over during the 4-year development cycle, it's like, come on. But it turned out to not only expand the story, it offered great new gameplay in the card system, even though I know some people don't like it. Now, moving on. This is a very important issue to me. Does anybody else want them to finally have real multiplayer in Kingdom Hearts 3?
I absolutely would, because that would just be amazing. My friends and I all love to play Kingdom Hearts, and we would just have so much fun playing together.
I would also like to clarify, I'm playing Birth by Sleep right now. It does have multiplayer. And it's not the crappy one in 358 over 2 days where you play the old missions over again and doesn't give anything new. You actually can play up to 6 people in an arena and fight like souped up monsters together. Pardon?
I was going to say, yeah, Birth by Sleep does have the multiplayer mode. You actually go to the world, I don't remember what it's called.
Mirage Arena.
Yeah, you go there and you can, like, I think it's up to 6 players or something like that.
6 players. Like 3 armored, 3 of the characters.
Yeah. But it does have multiplayer, but just for that one now.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
I see it myself as a... sorry, go ahead.
The optional side, like you could play it single player or you could play it multiplayer, just so the people who don't have the access to multiplayer don't have to struggle through the game as much as multiplayer games would.
That's how they do it in Birth by Sleep.
Yeah. No, but it would be the whole story instead of like one world.
Oh, no, it's not counted as a world.
It should. It would be hilarious.
I mean, there's still speculation about which system it's going to be on. I mean, everybody expected Final Fantasy 13 to be on the PlayStation 3, but look what happened there. Only on the PlayStation 3, so... Even the Wii can do online pretty well, so, you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Birth by Sleep, it's a completely optional area, and it doesn't affect the story. It just gives you access to some better items a little bit earlier on, but nothing game-breaking.
I've tried to argue for split screen for that very reason, because online, it seems like it's everywhere, but it's not a guarantee. I think with clever camera manipulation, like it would zoom in the closer the 2 players are to each other, I think it could work. They might have to design an entirely new system, but like you were talking about with the sales numbers, I think it certainly would be justified. I always see it as the first game, yeah, it was an experiment, no guarantee that it would sell. But the second game, huge. I really think they could have tried something, but we still don't have a date, of course, for Kingdom Hearts 3, so much like StarCraft 2, take your time. That's what I say.
No, they haven't announced it at all. There's not even any hint of it in Birth by Sleep, so...
And if news cycles or any, guaranteed trade shows where you hear about games, that means we're not likely to see it until at least 2013. And like I said with StarCraft 2, Next. This is a controversial topic. I actually didn't think of it this way until recently, but compared to a lot of other RPGs, Kingdom Hearts is surprisingly barren. Like, you really do not interact with many people. You don't really look for hidden items. Does anybody think this is a problem?
Hold on. Sorry.
I noticed that a while ago, and I have no problem with it. I think I actually hate hidden items. I can't stand them. I think it takes forever, and it's useless. So I think that was a good thing they did. And with talking to the people, I don't think you really need that if they're not going to tell you much.
So you view it as like a streamlining of the experience.
Yeah.
And you're thankful for it. It doesn't feel like they're trying to dumb it down or anything like that.
What is your take on the 358 over 2 days version of it, where they didn't really add much to it at all? They just kind of took what was already there.
Sorry.
It was something of a backstory to fill in the gaps of, wait, what do these organization people do in their off time? Do they like sit around and play poker or something?
Which is what they did.
Yeah, it's like it augmented the storyline. You don't have to play it if you just played the first 2 games in Chain of Memories. It's just a nice little filler thing that clarifies some personalities, some information, how they did what they did.
So you believe it's justified?
Yes.
All right.
And honestly, Sora is the Keyblade Master. Why is he ignoring the old RPG cliche of just walking into strangers' houses and stealing whatever he wants? You know? They're not going to be able to stop him.
Aladdin did it. I think Sora.
This is good exercise.
To add to the 358 over 2, I think it was an absolute Roxas Axel fan dub.
Oh, hell yeah.
I never understood those pairings necessarily, but I could definitely see it after playing the game a little bit more. There's always a certain sense of exaggeration with it.
Commenting. It's like the Reno and Rude fascination. There's nothing in canon that says they're anything more than best friends ever for the history of mankind. But you know fangirls will read into anything.
I think the true pairing there is any character plus sea salt ice cream.
As I said, it really wasn't something I thought about until recently, you know, the unimaginative world design, you know? Maybe it was more of a criticism of Kingdom Hearts 2, as I mentioned, you know, giving it development time. Just minute. You would have expected more. The one I always think of the most is The World That Never Was. That was teased, starting in Deep Dive, and then another side of my story. And on the map, it looks 3 times as big as any other one. I kind of expected, you know, especially given that it was a final dungeon, for it to be a little bit more complex. Any thoughts on that? Sorry, raise your hand, please.
Oh no, this is for the camera. So
Oh.
when
Some of it was probably there. The people who played Kingdom Hearts 1 are 5-6 years older, 3-4 years older. They don't want to go and redo the world 7 times again.
that's right.
It's an older player set. They want the more battle-oriented, which it was. I think there were more random spawn points for enemies. Like, you walked around, you came back, and they were there again.
Yep.
You've also got to remember that the game was made for kids, if you think about it, because it's a Disney game, even as much as it was made by Square Enix, and I don't think little kids would want to go running around a giant dungeon.
And how old are you?
I'm 16.
Oh. I can't tell, so I know what you mean. It really is just a devil's advocate position for me, because I like simplicity. I don't see anything wrong with running along, fighting Heartless, then going back, you know. It's just something to think about, you know. Because Kingdom Hearts is, unfortunately, easy to make fun of, you know. So I try and do everything I can to not only legitimize it, but here's a simple fact. I played the game the first week it came out, Kingdom Hearts 2. Amazing experience. And I thought, imagine what Final Fantasy XII is going to be like, considering the names behind it. And that game was such a disappointment. I was like, not only was Kingdom Hearts 2 better, but more consistent, way more consistently fun. It's just an amazing game.
Well, since we're on the topic of it being made by, being made with the intention for kids to be able to play it, what do you guys think about the addition of a critical mode? Because that's what's going to happen with Birth by Sleep and Crowd mode, and also Crowd mode. Because they're considerably difficult. Do you think that that's enough for like people who enjoy the action rather than the easiness of it?
Come on, guys. Anybody else want to talk?
I definitely think so, just